Welcome back.
Welcome back. How was your weekend?
It was good.
Yeah, mine too.
It was good.
Got a little bit of sun.
You did?
It's always good. Well, remember I played golf.
Ah, that's right.
So that was good.
Good. Vitamin D action.
A little vitamin D. And it was, you said, the perfect window, like 8 to noon. That was it. And then we went to our favorite wing joint.
Oh, yeah?
And ate a carb-free lunch.
Sweet.
It was good.
So you got some nutrients, some high fat, some vitamin D.
Yeah, baby.
Nice work. Nice work. All right. So we're continuing on. Lies My Doctor Told Me. Dr. Ken Berry.
Dr. Ken Berry.
So why don't we switch roles today? And you read the lie.
I will read the lie. Give me just a second.
Yep.
And here we go. Human breast milk is deficient in vitamin D. Babies who are exclusively fed breast milk should be given vitamin D drops.
Ha ha ha. Nice.
This is a good one. I enjoyed this one.
Yeah, it actually, on the surface, you're like, not real interesting. But in Dr. Ken's style, it kind of, you dig underneath a little bit, you find something.
Yep, you peel a layer back.
So evidently he says, obviously I'm not a med student, not a nursing student, but he says this lie is prevalent throughout, right?
Yeah, and I guess it first started like 70-ish years ago.
Yeah.
Right?
So they would test breast milk, right, and determine that there's no vitamin D in the breast milk.
It's deficient.
It's deficient.
Right.
Right. So, the truth is that vitamin D is seen as important for babies in thousands of biochemical processes. They absolutely need vitamin D. So that's a caution, right?
And he comments that he kind of learned it, and even as a resident or whatever, I guess. But it was years later that he circled back and was like, "This can't be right, because whatever comes from Mother Nature, God, the sky spirit, whatever you call your individual,
it's perfect.
It's perfect." And so it really got him to do a deep dive.
Right. And when there's no vitamin D in the breast milk, that's cause for alarm. Babies need this stuff.
Well, that's the two questions it raised, right? Was either they don't need it or something's going on. Right.
Something.
And something won't. So, and the medical consensus is definitely they need it. To your point, thousands of biochemical reactions, blah, 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 blah.
And he goes on to say, hey, this is more than a fluid. Breast milk is more than a fluid. Moms are delivering living tissue.
Tissue, I think he said.
To the babies. So this is a magical process that goes on. And he goes on to actually say that it's specifically from that mom to that baby.
Right.
I don't know if there's research done about that, but he kind of alluded to this is a one-to-one magical fluid that's developed.
Yeah, the mom's body creates pretty much everything that the kid needs. And again, this problem's like 70 years old, right? Well, what happened for the hundreds of thousands of years before that, before there were vitamin D drops to give infants?
Right. So yeah, then it goes on to go, all right, these vitamin D drops didn't exist, so he digs deeper, finds out that, why is there no vitamin D in mother's breast milk now?
Well, we learned it actually from the vitamin D chapter, right? That at some point we adopted a very inside lifestyle. We don't play in the sun as much. We were told not to eat
high-fat content.
High-fat prairie foods. I think they're called prairie foods, but grazers. So we've reduced our fat intake, we've reduced our sun intake, and those are two of the primary ways that we get natural vitamin D.
And when mom doesn't have natural vitamin D,
she can't make it for the kid.
Can't make it for the kid.
Yep.
So why was the lie told, Scott? Right?
Big pharma, man.
I know.
Nobody wanted to address the root cause of vitamin D deficiency in the mom. They just wanted to, and I don't want to say it so critically, they solved a problem and they did it with medicine, right? And that medicine was to deliver vitamin D drops. They created vitamin D drops to give to the infants. So they did solve a problem, but not the root cause.
You mean telling moms to go get more sun, eat a higher fat diet,
and even take her own supplements. Yeah,
take a $4 supplement for 30 days. That wasn't the right angle.
Right.
The right angle was a really expensive drop to the baby.
Right. And what we've learned is we should all probably be on some type of vitamin D supplementation anyways. And I've never breastfed, believe it or not.
Right. And we talked about that. You can't I don't know these days, Scott. I think you might have breastfed. Who knows? I'll send those emails to the snack house.
Lactating people.
Right. But yeah, so obviously we go around the problem. We don't go to the source of the problem like you talked about. We just provide a really crazy, stupid solution. There's no money. There's money in the drops. There's no money in vitamins and holistic solutions.
Right.
So it was really interesting. Like I said, on the surface, you're like, what is going on with mother's breast milk?
And what's the test we all should be getting? Is it D25?
I don't recall.
I know we're about to do that future snack cast with you and my wife about maybe a food panel. We haven't got into that. We'll get into it, but it might be interesting to randomly, 3, 4, 5 of us check our vitamin D levels. We could check Jerry's. We could check Juan's. Maybe bring in a couple of the females in the building and if they would consent, I don't know if they would, but we could force.
We could do Jerry live on stage and vitamin D panel, live results in the background.
So, but it's we've learned so much about vitamin D, and there was a little bit of misdirection in this that every baby needs it. Yeah, they do, but maybe not from the drops.
Right.
Yeah,
it's absolutely important for the baby, but but again, it goes back to all right if the vitamin D is missing and it's a living tissue, how many thousands of other supplements are necessary? How many other nutrients are we missing in the baby's breast milk, not just the vitamin D?
Yeah. So really kind of off topic, but it was trending this morning. There was a study where they have found Roundup in urine samples of 80% of the population.
Yay!
So not only is there arguably a vitamin D deficiency because of lack of fatty foods, lack of sunshine. And I don't mean to pick on Roundup by any means. It's just what is in our bodies that wasn't natural 50 years ago, 30 years ago, 100 years ago. That breast milk, I would be curious. I don't think, obviously, we could ever find out. But has there been a substantial nutritional decline in breast milk as a whole?
I think there's been a substantial nutritional decline in our food supply as a whole.
And maybe even a poisoning. I guess that's the point I'm getting to is it may even have trace Roundup, trace other things,
Oh, you and I, we've talked about that. I don't want to get too long with it, but we've talked about that as well, is that it's no longer like calories or calories in and calories out. There are probably other inflammation processes going on in the body that lead to things like weight gain. Right?
Sure.
You could eat 400 calories a day and you're still gaining weight.
Right.
Something's wrong with that, right? Inside joke. We're going to get in trouble.
I know.
But anyway, something's really wrong with that. So, it's important. What else is going on in your body that's causing you to be inflamed?
It all points to, again, back to whole foods. Try to eat as much whole foods as you can. Single ingredient foods.
Gosh, what'd you say today? That you, for the first time ever, you were like scrubbing your vegetables?
Yes. I used to throw vegetables into the pan or pot, dirt and all. I didn't care. I was like,
it's good for you, right?
Pesticides are good for us, But yeah, man, I'm like breaking my own brain. I'm standing there washing cucumbers, actual cucumbers.
Right. Well, I don't know if the pesticides on the cucumber are the problem anymore. It's what's in the cucumber might be the real problem.
Right.
So, all right, let's wrap it up.
So, questions, comments. Well, you did the whole role reversal thing. I didn't know. Questions, comments, concerns. You think we're full of spit. It doesn't matter. Email us at snackcast@yes.fit.
Stay moving.
See ya.